Hi everyone. Today I was going to just take this drop paper that I've been using as something to create my art on, and I'm just going to glue down a bunch of scrap pieces of paper and just whatever I can find that I've been working on. I have some stuff in here too. I'm just going to basically just throw everything down that I can, see what I come up with. I also have some, this isn't chipboard, it's food boxes that have dies that have been cut or attempted to be cut, and so it's like a waste. So I just want to use some of this as well. And let me get these out real quick. Okay, that's the part to keep. And then I can cut this off and keep this on the top part. So this here can be the bits of waste that I can add. It'll be thicker and give it more texture. So I have a bunch of stuff here now that I can use, and all I'm going to do is I have some watered down Elmer's glue, and instead of using a paintbrush I'm just going to use my fingers and just lay it down as I go, and then keep coating it and make layers. And some of the stuff I want the color to show through, because it'll probably, some of it will show up in the end product. Guess it would help if I did the first thing first, which is to spread the glue around. Let me get this piece up. I don't need that under there. This is a fairly messy process, but I actually find it quite enjoyable. There's not any particular way of doing anything. My window is open. It's really windy right now, so it's just blowing everything all around. And whatever doesn't stay down, I'll be able to add more glue a little bit later to try to get it to stay down. So I'm just going to keep doing this and then I'll be back. Alright, not quite done. I've laid down a lot. It's not dry. I'm still just adding a few extra bits here and there. Just laying down a bunch of layers, a bunch of texture, a bunch of colors. And since it's going to be painted over and stenciled over, there's no need to worry about where the colors, textures, or anything are going to be, because it's all just random, but in the end it turns out really beautiful, even though it doesn't look like it. Like I said about my other work, it just looks like a hot mess right now. But in the end it turns out pretty nice. Now this is just a really good way to use up a lot of your scraps. We all have a bunch of scraps. And they're not useless. They do have a purpose. This one has some text, so that'll be pretty if it shows up. There's no guarantee. Not with this process. I'm trying to see if I can see any places where there's an excess of glue, or maybe still not enough layers. If I still see the base layer of the paper, I want to make sure I put a little something over those bare areas. Some of these will stick right away, others won't. If they don't, I just go back and add some more glue and lay it down again. And some of this has ink on it, and the ink is coming up, like on the main paper here. Some of this ink is starting to come up, and that's okay, because it's just going to add color. A lot of this paper I got from Ken Persinger in the ATC Trades, Tips, and Tutorials Facebook group. I'm going to use this one too. This is one I did some painting on. A lot of color and texture. This is really a lot of fun to do with your bare hands. I really enjoy the way that it feels. The only problem that I would foresee is using a paper trimmer or scissors to cut this, because it's going to be so thick with so many layers that the cutting part is going to be a bit of a challenge. But my paper trimmer was able to do it the last time, although I don't think I had quite as many layers the last time. I think I was trying to do a little bit more this time around. Always trying to experiment with something new, something different. Now this one, I just want to make sure I get over that very first layer. The last time I did it, I actually did it with more thought as to where I was laying everything down. This time I'm not. I am just throwing it down willy-nilly anywhere. I'm just trying to see if I can see any more places where, like right here, that's the original paper. So I'll make sure I've got that covered. And of course it moves, so I gotta pick it up and reposition it. And some of this is tearing. That's okay. I'm still gonna just lay it down in there some way or another. add it. I have to keep picking this up to make sure it's not sticking to the back, because right now it's really wet. All that watered down glue. And there's a bit of it right there. I'm close to done. Where these thick pieces, they look like puzzle pieces. These are going to be the thickest areas for me to try to cut. And a lot of the paper I use is scrap paper from fussy cutting that I've done, like this here. And release tape. Oh, that one wasn't release tape, that's actually paper. This one here is release tape. Just any of the stuff that I find on my desk, just add it on. No matter how big or how little. That one I don't think is going to stick right there. Not enough glue. There we go. Almost done. And this one is not going to stay. It just moved. So now I'm just trying to dry it up. I think I've got plenty of layers on here now. So just spreading the glue around to make it an even coat so there's not globs of it in any one place will help to adhere the papers that are in here. There's even some tape here. This blue is blue painter's tape. And then this blue is painted book page when I was cutting out my birdhouses for the AT seeds that I've been making. Okay, I'm going to turn it off and wait for this to dry, and then I'll be back. Hi everyone, I'm back. This is dried. There's a few places where it's sticking up, but that's okay. We'll call it texture. So now I want to paint and stencil this, and I'm going to kind of get the curve out of it so it lays flatter, so it'll be more receptive to the paint that I'm going to put on it through the stencil. Look at this sweet spot right here in the middle. It's like 3 layers deep. This is where I fussy cut a butterfly, a little tiny butterfly. And there's the other half of a smaller butterfly. But then there's other papers underneath it too. Alright. I received my Winnie and Walter stencils that I ordered from Catherine Fuller's website. I had won a $25 gift certificate last year around Christmas time and had never spent it because I was waiting for a sale, but They don't have sales, so I just went ahead and bought. These were $5 each. And I also bought a Bellini re-inker and the Tutti Frutti ink pad. And I would have bought an ink pad with that one as well, but it was only $25 and 5 of it was for shipping, so I was like 50 cents short. So I just went ahead and got re-inker because that's about $1 cheaper. So anyway, that's how I got these. So let me come up with some colors. I want to start using some dark colors, and then I'll go lighter as I come up. And I'll be using a lot of different stencils. And I'll just be picking some of these things out. These are little hair things. And they're little hair combs you put in your hair, and I thought, oh, that would be really interesting. You drag it through your paint, so I'll probably try to do a little bit of that too. Let me go with the biggest stencil that I have, which is this one. I believe this is the top. And I'm just going to start with the purple. I'll go ahead and put it on here. It's not going to matter. Sorry, I know you can hear the, is that my light? Yeah, my light is making a lot of noise. Maybe if I lay it down out of the way, it'll be quiet. And I'm not going to be too careful with this. Usually I try to make sure that it's not going to get all mushy behind, like it's doing right here where it's spreading out. But this is just the first layer, so I'm not really worried about it. I know I'm going to be adding many other layers. I have a bird on my neighbor's porch light over here, and that's the bird that you probably can hear in the background because I have my window open. And the bird likes to be on the telephone line outside and just is busy talking to the other birds out there. I sit outside and just watch and listen and just be very entertained and fascinated by it. I love this color. This is called Wild Iris. It's a reddish hued purple color. Very vibrant. Purple is one of my favorite colors. It's a color of royalty. It's a color that was used in the most holy of holies in the tabernacle in the Old Testament, where God would be when the priests would go in and worship God. Okay, I need a little more. Today was actually a pretty warm day. It started off nice and cool, and as the evening is wearing on, it's getting warmer. I'm actually sweating. Not a lot, but just where you know that you're sweating. So, I hate sweating. I hate the way that feels. And then right now my legs are swollen, my feet are swollen. My legs from like just above the knees on down are swelling, and they feel like they're really thick, and so the skin is tingling and burning. It's got this really weird sensation. And my rheumatologist will probably call me tomorrow and talk to me. I know that it is not a reaction to the medication that I'm taking, like it was the last time. Last time it was a reaction to the not the metoprolol, the amlodipine that I was taking. But I'm not taking that anymore, so I don't know what's doing it. I don't know if it's just a symptom of fibro or something else. But I've had to spend some time laying down today, elevating my legs higher than my heart. And it looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and put on the, what do you call those socks, the pressure socks? But anyway, I am looking forward to creating whatever this is going to be. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut it up into ATCs because I have some ATCs that I need to make for a couple of groups. And then I just want to make some for some family and friends that I haven't seen in a while. Just surprise them with something fun. Hope they'll like them. Okay, here we go with this part of it, and it's okay that we have a couple of places where there's blobs. I'm actually going to mash all this extra down on here too. Alright, that's one down. And I'm just going to finish adding some of this, just so that it's not wasted. Alright, now I'm going to add something different. And I need to dry this so that when I add another color, it's not going to make a color of mud. Next color. I'm going to go with, actually, let me see, color I haven't used before. I'll go with this one. Oh no, is this a glow-in-the-dark one? Oh, it is. Oh, that's not what I want. I thought it was just neon. That's a neon, but it's purple, and I just used purple. Alright, so I have the Crafters acrylic, neon green and yellow and orange and blue. Thought I had some of the pink. That's not. Pink glitter. Yep, no pink neon. So will use this one instead then. It's my first time using this color. I haven't done neons yet. And it's okay that it's going to get a little wild and crazy because it'll be covered up after I cut them into ATCs. They'll be individually done all over again in some other way. I'm just going to spritz this out here. I need a new sponge. I want to use this Harlequin. I'm going to start with this up here. It's almost like this orange doesn't even have a color. It doesn't seem like it's really doing much with the purple here. I like how it's looking though. For a color that is so bright, it really is not laying down much color at all. I mean, I'm going over even white areas. And it could be that the glue is acting as a resist, but it shouldn't be a resist this much. Have to do like 2 or 3 layers of coloring before it actually will take it. Which is okay, it's just a whole nother look, a whole nother effect that I'm getting. It's a lot of paint for just a little area and very little change. Like you can barely tell that I even did anything on there. I have to use another color with that stencil. I'm just going to go ahead and spread this like I did before with the purple. There's so much depth, little nooks and crannies in this one. I really like that, especially on a finished ATC. Really gives it a lot of depth and texture to the finished ATC. Okay, and since this really does not do much for right now, I'm not going to worry with doing anything else neon. I'm going to go to the pink, and this is Candy Pink. And I need a new sponge. With this one, I'm going to use the circle. Let's see, the acrylic paint, just regular, definitely lays down. I don't know what it is with the neon that it makes it not lay down. But I don't have a problem with it. I think it just adds different dimension, a different look on the different part of the ATC. love doing this kind of abstract work because there's no pressure. It's just experimenting, and it's always very rewarding. It's always so much fun just to see what you can come up with. Normally, as a person who is OCD and likes to be in control of things, likes to know how the outcome of something is going to be, it's nice to step away from that and just be free with my art. Not have any expectations at all whatsoever, because if I don't like anything that I'm doing here, all I have to do is gesso over it, paint over it, turn it over, and do something else. But I'm loving how this is looking. I'm going to do some punchinella. And I'm going to do it in white. Actually, I think I'll do an off-white, like a cream. I don't really have an off-white. This one is Sun-Kissed Peach, which is like a flesh tone color. Just do this and see what we get. And I think that's more than enough of this color, so I'm going to pull out my excess paint book and add this extra paint. Just pulling it off of here. And it actually pulled a couple layers of the other stuff off, which is fine. Totally cleared that off. And these look like they don't have a whole lot of ink in them, but honestly, if these were spritzed with water or even just dunked in some water, you get more of the color coming out. And I like to do this too because as the paper dries on this paper, the blue ink for the lines actually activates and melts into the page like that. See how it's bleeding? So I don't I try not to waste paint because I know I can make something pretty out of any of the excess that I have. But enough about that. Let's get back to this. I wanted to do somewhere I'd be pulling this through. I don't want it to be too thickened the areas where it's really thick right now, so I'm trying to draw it out. Okay, and I should wash that off because that'll dry and not be easy to clean later. Should keep a toothbrush in here just to wash these. There we go, pretty much clean. Just a few more little spots. Alrighty. Parakeet green. Okay. I'm going to let this dry, then I'll come back and I'll cut it into a bunch of pieces.